For 500 years, people have had a tough time coming to terms with what Luther understood happens in the Lord's Supper. Less than a decade after posting the 95 Theses, Luther found himself immersed in one of the greatest disputes in the history of the Church. When Christ said, "This is my body, this is my blood," did he really mean it? Luther disagreed with the Pope's notion that the priest has the power to change bread and wine into flesh and blood. Luther also didn't agree with others who argued that the bread remains only bread and the wine is not Christ's blood. So, what was Luther's understanding? As the story goes, in the middle of a debate, Luther refused to give an inch. When dealing with Jesus' words, is means is. Why was Luther so adamant? The communication of God's grace was at stake. At the Last Supper, Jesus announced his last will and testament, declaring what those sitting around him would receive after he died. And who was that? Well, the very ones who were about to betray and desert him. What would his betrayers receive as an inheritance? Listen again to Jesus' words. "This is my body, this is my blood, shed for you for the forgiveness of your sins." After he died, Jesus handed his estate, his forgiveness, over to those who sin against God himself. Luther knew this included himself and every Christian hearing these words. This helps us understand why he insisted on sticking to the simple words of Jesus. Keep in mind, to change or call into question the words in a last will and testament undermines the inheritance itself. The means of grace, the promise of the gospel, is forsaken, and people are left in the consequence of their sin. Is means is. All of this was said and done so you can remember, a mighty fortress is our God.